Welcome to the Power in Your Voice TV show. The Power in Your Voice is a TV show that will give you empowerment, inspiration, and definitely motivation. It's here to inspire you to be a better version of yourself. The Power in Your Voice is a platform that is going to inspire you to tap into your power that you hold, the purpose that you hold, and the mission that you are truly here in the mind to do. It's going to help you acknowledge who you are, what you are, and who you should become. Power. The power of worth, elevation, evolving, resistance. I push through the pain to get to the power. I keep going to get this power. I knew that it was given to me by grace and to know my purpose. You get pushed through this pain to get to this power. That tends to give a divine scar, but the power gives you reinforcement. Pushing past the pain to let your voice be heard. Pushing past your fears to let your voice be heard. How much faith do you know to overcome your fears? You have blessing to someone to hear. There's a message in your words. There's a power in your voice. Keep pushing through your pain to keep that power. I keep my faith over fear to have the power in my voice to be heard. You have the power. You are resilient and you have the strength. Your voice is powerful and you need to know that you're powerful. Hold on to that power. Hold on to that power. Hold on to that power, which is the power in your voice. Use it to stand by grace. Use it to know your worth. And use it to be ready to show your knowledge. The power in your voice. A platform to be defined, which is inspiring, which is impeccable to give you knowledge, and which is a place for you to grow, to be walking in your purpose, being very amazing. The power in your voice. Hold on to that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the Power in Your Voice. And today we are here with our special guest, Dr. Lisa L. Campbell. How are you doing today, Miss Campbell?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing well. Thank you for coming on and sharing your powerful message because you know we all have a journey and we all have a power in our voice. So, can you tell the people who you are and what you do and where you're from?
Absolutely. So, first, let me start off by saying I am from a suburb of Chicago in Illinois. Every time I say the name of the suburb, people are like, what? So, I'll just say a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. And I am a healthcare professional. I've been in the healthcare industry since 1992. And my areas of focus include healthcare management, health information management. I hate to say this because then people like just start swarming towards me, medical billing and coding. So I'm involved in that as well. But then I'm also an author and a growth coach, and I'm known as the growth motivator.
Mm. Well, see, I need to just do a whole segment and workshop with the growth because a lot of people be looking for that growth motivator and trying to figure out next steps and strategizing and all these great things. So, listen, I'm telling y'all, if y'all are out there, tap in, tap in, tap in because she might be the coach for you. So, listen, you heard the name, Dr. Lisa L. Campbell now. So tell us, you've been in the health career for decades. So what made you decide to dive into that career?
That's a great question. So, number one, I come from a family of nurses. But when I was in high school, I had no plans on going to college. And here was the defining moment for me. I was working at McDonald's. I was a manager. I had been to Hamburger University. I was honestly enjoying McDonald's. And I went to um, all different types of meetings to learn how you run a McDonald's. I was going to own a McDonald's. And then I had a baby and the cost of milk and formula and all of that. And I was like, all right, girl, you need to go to school for something because you're not going to be able to afford to take care of your daughter. And
Right.
so that's essentially how I entered healthcare, which was as a medical assistant, because I was like, maybe you can become a nurse. But let me just tell you, once I got into the physician's office and given my background in management, I was like, I like healthcare, but that clinical side, not so much. I don't really care what hurts, how long it's been hurting. And so I realized that I love healthcare, just not on the clinical side. I wanted to be behind the scenes.
So you prefer like, let me be behind the errors. Like I don't want to, how you said how long it's been hurting, what's causing the pain, all the et cetera. You don't want to be in the forefront.
No, and you know what? There's a place for us all, and I have
Right.
witnessed so many folks that are doing direct patient care that honestly shouldn't be doing it.
Got
So, and I also prefer not to be like a permanent employee from 9 to 5. So I work as a healthcare consultant. So I might be at this hospital one day, and then a few weeks later, I'm somewhere else. You know, they say variety is the spice of life. And so I
right.
love to have that variety.
And see, that gives you a different way to network too, because then you're not always stuck in one hospital. You're going to a variety of different places, so you get to network, you get to see different folks, you get to consult different areas and different hospitals. So it gives you different scenery.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's much warmer than Chicago. So, like right now, I'm doing a project in Texas. And then other
Okay.
times it's the same weather as Chicago. And so, it's okay. I love warm weather. Let me just say that. I'm an April baby and I love warm weather.
I'm a winter baby, and I still don't like the cold. So, so I definitely understand. So tell me, what made you go from health to author? Like, how did that come about?
That's a very good question. And let me just tell you, one of the things that I'm really enjoying about this conversation is that you and I just met each other, right? We have not had an opportunity to do like a prep for this call. We're just on here, we're live. And so for me, it's about authentic experiences. And so I will share with you. So, the name of my book, which was published October 2023, is called, watch this, Grow with Me.
Wow.
And the name was actually created by one of my friends. We were sitting outside one day and I was finishing up the book, and we were like, tossing around all these different names. And then he was like, the name of the book should be Grow with Me. And so it started off kind of like a memoir about my life. My 32-year-old daughter is special needs. And so in the book, I kind of just talk about what life has been about for the last 50 years. And one of the things I'm so grateful about, because people say all the time, you're 50, who 50, what? Right. So today I am
Right.
1 year old. I'm so grateful that I don't look like what I've been through. But the book really just kind of digs into, what I've went through and how I grew every step of the way, because I learned a long time ago that having a growth mindset is really the key for success in life, right? Life is gonna life,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's about how you bounce back.
Wow. And then it's crazy because, like you said, I love the title because it's the growth. And no, I wouldn't have gave you 50, 51. No, not at all. I wouldn't have not. How do you say? Whatever you drinking, keep the water coming. Because listen, it is keeping you young all the way. So tell me, how was that, writing the book, putting it together, like how was that process for you?
Oh, and some more good questions. So first, let me tell you, the first 3 chapters, I literally opened up Zoom and spoke to the computer, and I did a lot of crying.
Mhm.
The first 3 chapters talk about life challenges. They talk about my daughter Jasmine, and just really the things that were going through, that I was going through at that point in my life. And crying to the computer was very, 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 let me say very, very, very therapeutic, because it was the first time that I had disclosed a lot of things that I had been through. And my grandfather, who is 103 today, when he
Amen.
read the book, he was like, I learned a lot about you from reading the book. And so after I got through those first 3 chapters, after that, I started talking to Microsoft Word and, see the words go across the screen. But the process for me was a point in time where I could reflect on my life, gave gratitude for all the things that I had been through, but really freed me to get in alignment with my assignment in life, which is to help others grow. And in the book, I talk about how important it is to shed the weight that's holding you hostage. And I had a lot of weight that I was carrying. And so through that process, I was just shedding it one layer at a time. It would be times that, I kid you not, I would be in the car with my husband and would be on my iPad with Microsoft Word open again, speaking and crying as we're driving. Now, part of it could have been menopause, but the other part was really that I was being freed. And my last chapter, chapter 12, is called Faith Over Fear.
Mm.
And I wrote that chapter again, speaking to the computer, crying. But this particular time, I was on the sunny beaches of Jamaica, in my hotel room on the balcony, just crying and going forth. And my roommate, she was like, did you record the audio for what you were saying? And I was like, no. She was like, I was in this room just feeling every word you said. And then when I left out of the balcony and put my dress on and went downstairs to an event, I had this glow about me. And I knew that that was a defining moment for me in my life. And I am at a place of peace
Mm.
that is, it's something that is undescribable and you can't pay for.
Mm. Lord knows those moments is very undefinable, and like you said, you can't pay for it. And it's crazy that your chapter is faith over fear, and we go back to this is unscripted. We haven't talked about it because I talk about faith over fear. So like it's like a 360 hearing certain things, and I'm like, oh, I have a saying from a realization from that moment of her saying that because I remember my defining moment, and it comes with that topic, faith over fear, and walking by faith, not by sight. So listen, I understand that moment you're talking about here. So tell me, during that process, after you finished that book, what did you feel like? That moment of peace, and you put it and you added it onto the format and is now up. How did that make you feel when you said, you know what, I have now birthed my baby?
It's funny you mentioned that because in the book, I actually, oh my goodness, in the book, I talk about how this phase of my life, I'm not walking the journey alone, and that I have all these midwives around me that are telling me to push, and they're telling me to push this growth motivator movement.
Mm,
So I felt so good, but that's not it. In the book, I put in the introduction that I was no longer going to be held hostage by salary and benefits because I was going to quit my job. And that statement in the book was me holding myself accountable. And so my book dropped, I think it was like August of 2023. And I resigned November 2023.
wow. Look
And
at
it was
that.
a great feeling, great feeling. And people always ask me, well, what do you do for money? Weren't you
Right.
afraid? Of course I was afraid, but I just wrote about faith over
So
fear.
fear.
And so faith without work is dead. But I
Mm-hmm.
had to close that door so that the next door can open. And I tell people all the time how I did it outside of faith. I made a decision that I needed to become comfortable being uncomfortable because I was very comfortable. And so once I closed that door and moved into where I am today, which I like to call the messy middle, I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna trust you because you know when you're comfortable and your bills are paid and you got excess and you can do all these things, you get comfortable, but
Hmm.
you're missing out on your true destiny.
Absolutely. And how did you come up with the title? She said the messy middle. So I need to, I'm a hashtag that. All right, guys. It's hashtag after you get uncomfortable. It's called the messy middle, guys. All right. So hashtag that word, messy middle, and make sure y'all tag Dr. L, Lisa L. Campbell in that. Cause that's her movement now. The messy middle, faith over fear, getting uncomfortable, all these things. Make sure we get all those things in there. So we go from health consultant, author. So talk about getting into being the growth coach.
So, one of my friends said to me, you've been motivating others for decades. And I had to spend some moments, some quiet moments with myself, trying to figure out how I got there. And so the book allowed me to disclose how I got there. And I'm going to share it with your listening, viewing audience. So, probably about 2 years after I had my daughter, I was learning that she was special needs, she was deaf at the time, she wasn't walking. And one day I decided that I didn't want to be here anymore. And so I took 30 Tylenol.
Mm,
And so after that 30 Tylenol ingestion, I went via ambulance to the hospital and they pumped my stomach out with charcoal because they didn't want the pills to absorb in my body, right? And so after the stomach pumping, another ambulance ride to a mental hospital where I was at for like 6 hours, I realized a couple of things. Number one, God gave my daughter to me because he knew I could handle it. But number two, that was a turning point for me to realize that I had a lot to live for. And instead of being a victim, I decided to be victorious and I just moved full speed ahead. And that defining moment is what is really the foundation that I stand on today. I like to joke that my legs are thick, right? And I say that they're strong like tree trunks. So no matter what comes against me, I got my boxing gloves on and I'm just ready to fight. But it was that moment. And some people are like, I wouldn't tell anybody that I took 30 Tylenol. Well, see, here's the deal. As the growth motivator, I know that the individuals that I am destined to help, I have to show up as my authentic self. I have to show up as a transparent mother, wife, grandmother, daughter, all the things that I am, because that's how I'm going to help others. Your hashtag or your Facebook title is Lady Behind the mask is off. And in order for me to help others, I can't be like a reality TV person because that's not real. I have to be an everyday girl from the south side of Chicago who knows where she's been and understands her assignment.
yes, absolutely. And that transparency is what helps the one in the audience that you're talking to. It gives them, like you said, that authenticity of knowing that she's been somewhere and she's came out of it, and I can trust her and believe that I can become that same version. I can become a better version of who I was.
Absolutely.
So give some to someone out there that may be going through something that needs some growth. What's some key things you would like to, share with them that they may need to think about or do?
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, it's really important to have some moments of silence where you allow yourself to reflect on who are you, what do you want, and then take some time to journal. And I'm looking for my journal because I have it on my desk. This is my journal where whether it's in the evening or whether it's in the morning, I'm writing down, my most intimate thoughts about what I want to do. I'm writing down, like, I see myself on this big stage having this impact on thousands of lives, where I'm telling them to shed the weight that is holding them hostage, and I'm giving them the strategies to do so. So the silence, the journaling, but then also realizing that you are not who people say you are. You have to teach people how to treat you, and then really say to yourself every day, I'm so thankful for being here, and I'm going to have an impact on someone. When my friends told me, you've been motivating folks for years, I'm like, really? But I realized, because of all the things that I have been through, raising a special needs child initially alone was a struggle, because in that moment when I took those pills, I lost my voice, and I'm simultaneously having to be her voice to make sure all her needs are being met. And so when I talk about that solid foundation that I'm standing on, it's all the things that I went through, that allowed me to be the woman that's standing in front of you today. And I told somebody else the other day, I'm just getting started.
Mm.
I am going to be going across the world, having an impact on the lives that are ready to be changed. Because this world has so much to offer to us, but sometimes we allow things to hold us back. And I don't know about y'all, but this girl right here, she done with letting those things hold her back. But it means that I got to give up some things, right? When I quit my job, I knew that I was going to some extent, have to give up some things. But what excited me the most was the unknown on the other side. So when I talk about the messy middle, that's when you like, okay, I closed the door. Now I'm trying to figure the things out. But as you step into the new phase of your journey, it's so many opportunities that are going to come at you. But before you get there, and I'm gonna go biblical for a moment, you got to study to show yourself approved. So one of the, and when I what I mean by that is, I'm not talking about going to school, but constant learning, becoming more self-aware about who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and then continuing to plant the seeds. So when it's time for you to reap that harvest, you're going to have a blessing that's so big that you're not gonna know what to do with it.
Listen, y'all better hear her, and y'all better hear her well, cause I'm telling you, everything she's saying is absolutely true. In the audience, we have a yes by Sandra Jackson, and she said, yes, it is. So listen, thank you, Sandra, for tuning in. Listen, you better get it, you better grow with it, and you better use it. And how you say, she just got started. She's here to impact globally. And so, with that being said, what do you see as your vision in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 years?
So, number one, definitely going back abroad. I'll tell you a fun fact. Last December, my husband and I had an opportunity to travel to Ghana. We didn't go to Nigeria, but we went to Ghana. It was an amazing experience, being in Africa. Right before that, I had an opportunity to go speak in Barbados. And so the plan, the vision, what I am seeing is me traveling to all these different places, having an impact on the lives of others. And it's not about me getting notoriety, but it's about helping others grow from a place of love, right? Being able to see a young person in the audience that was like, right before I heard you speak, I was going to take my life. I was going to do X, Y, Z. Because oftentimes we're having these thoughts with ourselves and we don't share them with somebody else. And the devil get real busy and make
Mhm.
you go down a path that you don't need to go down. And so, really having an impact so that we can all start to live from a more, a place of love, a healthier place. We're wrapping up Mental Health Awareness Month today. And I don't know about you, but the pandemic showed me that a lot of people are dealing with mental health challenges. And I think that in order for us to fight that, we got to bring back communities where we're helping each other, right? And it's not, for me, my mission is not transactional, it's transformational.
Mm. And you right. It definitely showed a lot of how, you know, mental health, it's huge, and we got to remember it, like you said, be a community to help those in need. And it's crazy a little bit with me. I kind of knew it was an issue before the pandemic because I went through domestic violence, so I kind of seen the forefront of some of the mental illness previously beforehand. It just you see a lot more because people were locked in, enclosed, and they couldn't go anywhere. So they didn't have anywhere to run or anywhere to hide what they truly were dealing with. And we go back to the mass of what we were talking about. Some people had to become vulnerable in those moments, and those faces started showing up. There was nowhere to hide any moments. So it's huge, and definitely, yeah, we are ending the month of mental illness awareness, but we got to make sure we do it every day. We got to show up for those that need the help every day.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I've learned as I've continued to study, and one resource that I would love to offer to your listening, viewing audience in my reading book, I have a QR code and, they can just scan it and download the books. But one of the books that I read was about emotional intelligence. And one of the aspects of emotional intelligence is about being your own emotional boss. And let me just tell you, me being my own emotional boss have saved some folks from the wrath of Lisa Lynette. Now
Mm.
you notice I ain't say Dr. Lisa L. Campbell.
Right.
I say Lisa Lynette.
Least lit.
Okay.
Correct.
'Cause so when Lisa Lynette show up, I'm in an out of body mind experience. And so emotional intelligence has allowed me to be my own emotional boss, but also recognize when other people not right and
Mhm.
they over on the right and I need to exit stage left for my own safety. And that has happened a lot of times in the last 10 years. And if I had not taken the time to learn about emotional intelligence, I would not have responded the way that I did.
Yes, and that's a good thing because we can't control other people emotions, but we can have to be the boss and control of our own. So absolutely, I totally agree. I can't wait to scan that code because I need to read it, get back tuned in it. Because I actually took a master class on about dealing with your emotions and stuff like that. So absolutely, it's definitely needed because it helps you grow through your journey of the things that we deal with people wise ourselves, and being a parent, as dealing with our own children emotions and stuff like that. And we got to make sure that we don't put our emotions on them. So
Yes.
absolutely, yes. Listen, I learned some things, and during the process of us learning our emotions, we tend to fear things that we've been through, and we put it on our kids, and that becomes a whole nother dynamic of another generation of something you're putting on them that then they'll deal with and then end up dealing onto their own dynamics. So we gotta definitely become our, how you say, emotional boss. So I definitely agree. Y'all please need to make sure y'all go when she puts, because I would say drop that code inside the chat on the page so that they'll be able to scan the code or follow her and get the information, because we all need to definitely be our boss of our emotions. So
Absolutely.
what's next for you? We got the consultant, the health consultant. We got the book, and then we have the global speaker that's coming. I'm speaking it into existence. We got the worldwide game changer in the building. So tell me, what's next?
So I'm working on another book, and first of all, I'm amazed that I'm even writing these books, because I've always loved to read, but writing the books is basically my gift to the world to give, practical advice. First of all, I'm not a therapist. My doctorate degree is in healthcare administration, but I've been to the school of hard knocks. And if
Hmm.
I can take my personal experiences with proven strategies and help others navigate, different aspects of their life one chapter at a time, I'm here for it. And again, every word I write, I'm like, "Mm, you just helped yourself without even knowing that I needed the help. I'm getting healed in the process."
Absolutely. And I really feel that through the journey of us writing for others, we help heal ourselves through our mission and our purpose. So I commend you and congratulations. Now, do you have the title or you're still figuring out the title of the book? Or
I
we just
got,
not getting the title yet?
oh no, I do have the title, and the title is Shed the Weight.
Mm. And listen, she don't mean the body weight. She means that
Yes,
other weight. So cuz people here shed the weight and they forget that the baggage that we carry so many times, it's not that physical weight. It's that other weight that we carry around that we need to shed.
absolutely. The relationships and situationships, and one of my favorites is the salary and benefits. It's so
Right.
many people who need to switch jobs, quit their job, all those things. And I think that they don't do it because you and I said, a few minutes ago, afraid.
Mhm.
And so every aspect, and I have the table of contents. I started writing the content, and every aspect, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I be saying whoa in the room by myself because I'm just amazed at what God has given me to tell people. And it doesn't matter, like you said earlier, what color you are. It doesn't matter your nationality. It's just about my love for people in general. And it's
Mhm.
so many people that need help. And sometimes we think we're perfect. We don't need any help. In some communities, therapy is for people who are weak. But
Right.
let me just tell you, had I had access to therapy, maybe I wouldn't have taken those Tylenol, right?
Right.
You don't know. But having the tools that are in a practical format, that's not about going to school, because people think everything I've learned in life is from going to school, and that's the exact opposite. It's from life experiences, but my thirst and hunger for reading and learning. And you also asked me what else was next. So I do have a show that I do. It's called 52 Authors, 52 Weeks. Every week, I interview a different author. Why? Because I want to expose the world to tools that can be used to help them grow.
I love it. I love it. Now, where can they find the 1 year books? Two, how do they connect with you with the 52 authors a week so they can tune in to get that growth? And how do they connect with you coaching wise, health consultings, and all the above?
Yes, so very easy. Two places. I am on all social media channels as Dr. Lisa L. Campbell. And somebody said to me, and I'm just gonna just say this, you trademarked your name? And I'm like, yeah, you know why? I was meeting with a marketing consultant, and she said, you are a brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay. She was like, no, people are going to utilize your services for you, not the name of any company. So at Dr. Lisa L. Campbell on all social media chapters, uh, channels, but also my website. the growth motivator, which is also trademarked because after working with a coach, I realized the importance of trademarking. And so those are the two places. Just pop into Google, the growth motivator, and you will find me there.
Listen. Now, is there any words that you would like to leave the audience and the ones that are listening later?
Yes, absolutely. So, the one piece of advice that I want to leave everyone with is that where you are today is not where you have to stay. Now is the time to make a decision. Are you going or will you be left behind?
Mm.
And I don't want you to be left behind. So I want you to start to put those tools to use. The silence is free. It's free to experience silence. But also, it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, boy, girl, right? Writing down your innermost thoughts. For me, and I have to be honest, for me, writing prevents me from taking all that mess to bed. And so now I don't need Tylenol PM to go to sleep. I can just put my head on that pillow and go down, all because I'm using tools that I've learned along the way. And then I'll share the link with you for the QR code or the link for the listeners to download the book. And then they can just download away and read. And some of the authors that are on my book list, I'm actually interviewing as we speak. And so you'll get an opportunity to see and hear from them because I'm not the only game in town, right? It takes the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, it's been a pleasure having Dr. Lisa L. Campbell in the building. We're going to have to get her back because I'm telling you, it's going to have to be a part two. Because listen, she was fired up in this building. So if you didn't catch it now, make sure y'all go back to the replay and check it out. And if you know somebody that knows somebody that might need this growth coach, spread the word. Because I'm telling you, it's a lot of gems in here that y'all might have missed. So I'm telling y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. This have been your girl, Sheena Gadine, better known as the lady behind the mask. You know how to contact me. You can find me on Facebook as Sheena Gadine. You can find me on Instagram at Lady Behind the Mask 22. There's always my website, www.sheenaunmaskedmotivation.com. And we are always here, and we are always here to educate, motivate, and inspire. I thank y'all for tuning in, and I will catch y'all on the next time. Life struggles. When life tries to fight you back, you have to be ready to fight back. You have to be ready to stand your ground and be able to. Unfortunately, life is and bold. We learned that there are people that do not want to see you rise. They rather see you fall and be defeated. The strength that you